Peace. I'm back in another video. Today's video, we're going to talk about reincarnation, and it's false. These camps, they talk about reincarnation. It's a lie. It's a belief, and it's false, and it's lying to you. If you are a Hebrew Israelite, a Mormon, a Presbyterian, a Jewish, a Jew, or whatever, you are a part of a cult. And all of your gods are imaginary beings. Now, let's go here. Let's talk about reincarnation. See where that came from. There's no such thing as demons and devils. It's all bullshit. If demons and devils are real, what is stopping them right now from manifesting themselves? Why do I have to get a Ouija board to summon demons and devils? If they are that powerful, why can't they just show themselves right now? But it's false. It's a belief. People want to believe in something so bad. It's a goddamn shame. Just live and be. Now, let's get into this. Serpent worship after the Exodus. In the story of civilization, our Oriental heritage, Will Durant points out that the Jewish people also worship the serpent, and that there are numerous images of the worship of the serpent in earlier Jewish history. All of these confirm that the Jewish people that left ancient Egypt into the so-called biblical Exodus had no independent knowledge of religion, and they did not have their own gods other than the ones they knew and learned to worship in ancient Egypt. This is because there is no place in ancient times where the worship of the serpent was so much ingrained into religious, cultural, and superstitious beliefs as ancient Egypt. Not only did the ancient Ephraim or Ephraim people learn to worship the bull, lamb, and sheep in ancient Egypt, but also they learned to worship the serpent from the Egyptians. In ancient Egypt, the people perceived the serpent as a form of evil to be feared and worshipped at the same time. The ancient Egyptians' god, Apophis, or the African name Akpofi, was portrayed as a serpent. In the pyramid text of ancient Egypt, there is the evidence of the existence of a snake god going back as early as the 5th to the 6th dynasties. Evidence of ancient Egyptian worship of the serpent can be found in the image of the serpent on the headgear of their rulers. The ancient Egyptians revered serpents because of the snake's ability to renew itself by shedding the skin over and over. Now this is, okay, so what they're talking about here is, this is when the human body sheds the skin. It starts peeling. And it's taking on new skin. No different than when a dog sheds its fur, it gets new fur. What it says to that? In ancient Egyptian beliefs, serpents were also symbols of resurrection. The Dictionary of Ancient Egypt states that in the Book of the Gates, recovered from the tomb of Seti, 1294 to 1279 BC, there was a large winding coil of a snake with the hieroglyphics that translate into the word lifespan. And this is too uncommon, or in the Akan language, tutu akoma. Okay? And on the head is the serpent of wisdom. The symbol of the serpent as the object of worship and reverence on King Tut's crown. This referred to the ancient Egyptian belief in the cyclical nature of life that developed into the earlier concept of resurrection and a later concept and belief in reincarnation in some religions of the world. Reincarnation is false. It's a belief. It's not real. I got this from my ancestors. Now, let's go here. This is dealing with the Noah's flood, and this says here that this is what a scholar says, Lloyd Graham. Beyond all these, scholars have pointed out that the ark and the stories surrounding it was a myth. This was because no ark of the size given in the Bible could have taken in all that it supposedly took in for all the animals and humans to survive after the supposed length of the rains. In his criticism of the incredulity in the mathematical figures given for the design of the ark, Lloyd Graham wrote, according to some, the Hebrew cubit was only 18 inches. Others say 20. Even with the latter, the ark would be only 500 feet. And to this Noah put 8 people, 2 or 7 of every animal species, and sufficient provisions for 150 days. Another account says 1 year. And for ventilation, there was only one little window 20 inches square. The absurdity here is so great, I suspect it was meant as a hint for us to do a little thinking. So this scholar, he knows that the Noah's flood, the ark, was bullshit. You got all these animals on the boat. You got 8 people on the boat. All these different animals, different species on the boat. They shitting everywhere. And you got this little ass window for air to come in. And you people actually believe that story? Bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Garbage. It's garbage. They're lying to you. None of this stuff happened. It's all stories. You niggas, you grown ass adults, I believe in fairy tales. You need to go back to the basics. You need to read this book, the Book of Gods. Now, let's read this real quick. It's gonna be a short video. I know I make my videos 59 per hour long, but I'm gonna keep it short today. Documents of the Old Testament. Curation. There are 3 very disturbing issues about the documents of the Bible. Not only do we find specific ancient Egyptian records in these biblical documents, but also, as we have discussed, we find that the authors that were assigned to certain documents in the Bible are false. The third issue is that none of the modern scholastic search for the source of the biblical documents remotely links the Jewish people to these documents, despite the stories their earlier scholars created around these documents. If the biblical documents truly belong to the Jewish people, and if their prophets truly wrote these documents, there would not be ancient Egyptian documents in them, and there would not be false authors assigned to them. The evidence shows that these 2 major issues about the Bible could happen only under plagiarism. For example, we've already discussed that the biblical narratives begins in the Old Testament with the story that Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, first 5 books. We have been taught this, and millions have believed it for over 2,000 years, but today, no biblical scholar believes that Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible. As a way to save some of the legendary lying lore of the past 2,000 years, some scholars suggest that at least Moses must have written some of these books, but not all. It says one thing I have noticed about defenders of the biblical tradition today is that they are very flexible, and they tend to modify their stories based upon what researchers have found to contradict the claims of the Bible. The documents of the Bible begins with the creation story. In an early discussion, I have pointed out that Gerald Macy showed in his work that the transposed names Adam and Eve were definitely African in origin. The biblical home of Adam and Eve was Eden. In the discussion of the work of Gerald Macy, I revealed that the name Eden is a European corruption and an orthographic transposition of the Akan word Edon, meaning a house or home. From these revelations, it is clear that the creation story in the beginning of the Bible is derived from an Akan version of this story. Otherwise, the biblical story would not have contained the Akan names of the major characters and elements in the story. What is most intriguing about the beginning of the Bible with the creation story is that ancient Egyptians already had a creation myth that turned out to be very identical to the biblical creation myth. The ancient Egyptians even had a better creation story because they began with the imagination and personification of God, and then continued with this God creating everything else, including humans. That makes more sense than the biblical story that begins with a God from nowhere creating things and humans on this earth. You see that? Are you hearing this? These are stories. Stories. They're all stories. All these guys, whatever religion you uphold to, they're all imaginary. Okay? Now, the guy who came up with the term Hamitic and Shemitic was this guy right here. From this false perception, German Egyptologist Carl Richard Lazipus coined the name Hamitic, Hametel, and Shemitic, or Semitic and Hamitic to classify African and Asian family languages. This is the guy who came up with your Ham and Shem and all that stuff. German Egyptologist Carl Richards. Why aren't your camps talking about this? Because they are COINTELPRO. They're government, set up by the government. Black people are not the descendants of Ham. That's bullshit. That's a lie. It's a lie. Don't get mad at me. Let's see, what else I want to bring out? Did you know that your prophets were liars? I've already exposed Ansel the prophet as a liar. But did you all know that the children of Israel did not keep the law at all? Even though there are stories. Hezekiah, if you read about Hezekiah, right? And King Josiah, they were liars. So you have here, Moses get the commandments from God, right? In the book of Exodus. So you have Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. That's the law. But listen to this. To make their strategy of winning back the stray souls of Ephraim or Jewish people work, the priests first had to win the support of their king. King Josiah, who agreed to the secret plan of deception by the priests. As it can be seen from the story of how the Jewish people claimed they came to acquire the foundation of the biblical documents. It was through fraud and priest perverted deception. Will Durant narrated the fraudulent plot of the Jewish priests when he wrote, "In about the 18th year of his reign, the priest Hezekiah announced to the king that he had found in the secret archives of the temple an astonishing scroll in which the great Moses himself, at the direct dictation of Yahweh, has settled once and for all those problems of history and conduct that were being so highly debated by the prophets and priests. The discovery made a great stir. Josiah called the elders of Judah to the temple and there read to them the book of the covenant, in the presence, we are told, of thousands of people. Then he solemnly swore that he would henceforth abide by the laws of this book, and he caused all that were present to stand to it. Now you can read this in 2 Kings 22 and 8, 2 Kings 23 and 2, and 2 Chronicles 34 and 15. So that means that they wasn't following the law. He found the scrolls. They wasn't following the law. This is ridiculous. You niggas don't do no type of research at all. It says, there is no greater way toward establishing the authority of a book than saying that it is the book of God. Note how the priest Hezekiah supposedly told King Josiah that he had found a book that Yahweh directly dictated to Moses to write down. How did the priest Hezekiah know this, and why had anyone known this before in the entire history of the Jewish people? From this, we began to see how the foundation lies behind Christianity developed. Note also that the priests and the prophets were debating the quest for a new history for the Jewish people after the Exodus and before they went to Europe to become the Jews and Hebrews. This history was supposedly hundreds of years before Jewish scholars returned to ancient Egypt to translate the biblical documents for the Greeks. From this point of view, these scholars' creation of the fictitious story of Esau and Jacob as two nations in their mother's womb began to make sense. As I have pointed out, this story was used to separate the Jewish people of the Exodus from the tribal origin of the ancient Egyptians. Above everything else, note also that in this quotation from the Jewish people's real history, the discovery of the so-called Book of the Covenant was a strategically planned deception of the Jewish people themselves by their priests. From what is known today, it is evident that all these were fabrications. However, it is also clear that the Jewish people's own story of the supposed creation of the foundation documents of the Bible was carefully planned to deceive the Jewish people themselves. Since then, this deceived the Greeks, later entire Europe, and millions around the world. Even in their own history, Jewish people do not deny that their so-called foundation documents of the Bible began from pious fraud. Why would Jewish historians and biblical scholars admit to creating such a deception and claiming that the biblical documents were their original documents? This was because this deception was the better of the choices to cover up a bigger deception. Either the Jewish historians and biblical scholars had to create such a deception in their history to help them claim the documents of the Bible, or they had to admit that these documents were ancient Egyptian in origin. You see that? You see that? Earlier European scholars could not separate the real history of the Jewish people from the biblical history. As a result, it was not after the Reformation that some scholars had the nerve to analyze and question the source, content, and authorship of the biblical narrative attributed to Moses. Among the earliest scholars to show that Moses did not write the first 5 books of the Bible was the 16th century British philosopher Thomas Hobbes. The views of Hobbes opened the door for other scholars who had similar views to speak their minds and write books about the fallacies they had found in different parts of the Bible. Dutch philosopher Spinoza and French Calvinist Isaac de Prey all published their views on these ideas, confirming that Moses did not write these books. Among the most revealing evidence these scholars introduced to support their claim was the fact that the text supposedly written by Moses described his death and place of burial. Deuteronomy 34:6. How could a person who had died and been buried write about his own death and burial? To scholars, this showed that Moses did not write all the books attributed to him. Someone wrote some of the books of Moses after his death and attributed those also to him. If Moses did not write the first 5 books, who then wrote them? How do we know that Moses even wrote some of these books attributed to him? Why would ancient Jewish scholars of the biblical documents claim that Moses wrote these books when he did not write them? Again, we do have evidence of another fictitious attribution of the authorship of the biblical documents, and that suggests that these documents could not have been original Jewish people's documents. See that? It's garbage. Do you know that, let's see here. I'm going in on y'all ass today. Trying to show you who wrote the Bible, who wrote the book. David did not write no Psalms. I'm going to show and prove to you who wrote that. One second. Okay. So who wrote the Proverbs? Where did that come from? So you have here a guy. You have white Europeans that went to live amongst the Akan people in Ghana. And they found the similarities between the Proverbs in the Bible and the Akan's Proverbs. And they came to the conclusion that David didn't write none of that stuff. Somebody else wrote that. And the proof of it is from a man who earned a degree, a doctrine degree, this guy's name is Captain Dr. Rattray, okay, and it says here that a British Army officer in the Gold Coast called Captain Charles Rattray also observed the very close similarities between Akan religious thoughts and concepts and Christian thoughts and concepts. He was so fascinated with this observation that he suspected a link. As a result, he asked the British government that was ruling the Gold Coast at the time to appoint him the British government anthropologist in the Gold Coast to enable him to study the suspected relationship between the Akan and Jewish people specifically. Akan religious thought and concepts. Captain Rattray was appointed the British government anthropologist in the Gold Coast, and his work on the observation was so significant that it eventually earned him an honorary doctorate degree from Oxford University. Captain Dr. Rattray, who studied Akan thoughts and concepts through the collection of the Asante Proverbs and the study of the Asante people, pointed out that the Asante Inyame Asante God is the same as Yahweh of the Israelites. So you Israelites are supposed to be worshiping the God Inyame. So the word Yahweh is false. And to prove that Yahweh is false, I did that in one of my other videos, that the camps used a book called Hebrewism in West Africa, right? I'm going to show you what the scholar found out about that name. So you have a book called Hebrewisms of West Africa, right? That's what the camps use. So I'm going to show you what they don't tell you. So let's pull the book up. So you Negroes don't use no common sense. You want to be led by everybody else and don't do their own damn research. So you look up Hebrewisms in West Africa. This is the book that these camps use. Okay, so this is the book right here that these camps use, right? Hebrewisms in West Africa. That's the book. Okay? Your camps use this book and other individuals. So let's see what this author said in this book when he came out. So the author name is Joseph J. Williams, right? So he says that he says, as far as I'm aware, I'm the first African, specifically Akan scholars, to reveal the origin of the Christian God and the ancient Akan gods. However, I am not the first scholar to reveal this information. In the 1930s, a European priest who went to live amongst the Akan in West Africa found close relationship between Akan and Hebrew religious thinking, practice, beliefs, and culture. To this priest, the evidence was so overwhelming that it confirmed the origin of the Hebrew God and the Akan God. In this book entitled Hebrewism of West Africa, right there, Catholic Father S. J. Williams, okay, revealed through linguistic studies that the supposed Hebrew name Yahweh originated from the Akan word Inyame, God. The name of his book is quite revealing. How could Hebrewisms be found in as far away a place in West Africa when Hebrews lived in Canaan in ancient times and in Europe in modern times? Reverend Dr. Williams did not only find characteristics of Hebrew language, culture, and religious thinking among the Akan people of West Africa, but also he even showed that the ancient Jewish people and the Akan people must have spoken the same language at a point in time. This tends to confirm what Greenberg and I pointed out, that the people that left ancient Egypt in the so-called biblical Exodus spoke ancient Egyptian language that I revealed to be the Akan language. In Father Williams' linguistic analysis, the Akan word for God in Yahweh was what became Yahweh, the Jewish word for God. In English orthography, there is no NY consonant combination. As a result, to Father Williams, the Akan word in Yahweh was Yahweh. According to Father Williams, therefore, the only difference between the Akan word for God and the ancient Jewish word for God is in orthographic transposition of one alphabet. He argued that the only change between the two words was the M in the Akan word in Yahweh became the W in the ancient Jewish word Yahweh. I have already revealed that it was the Akan god of Thursday, known as Yah, that became the name of the Christian God Yahweh. However, the explanation of Dr. Williams is quite brilliant. It is fascinating to note that through linguistics and the cultural history of the Akan people, there is evidence that the Jewish word Yahweh originated from an Akan word and concept. I just debunked your Yahweh. Your Yahweh is the Akan God in Yahweh. So you niggas that's in these camps and these other individuals are taking these people monies, and you are cults, and you are liars, and you deceivers. How are you going to deny all these facts? How? We are all born atheists. All of us. The black atheist in America, Jason Wynn, Frederick Douglass, he's a atheist. Even in the short story in this guy's introduction, he's having a conversation with his grandmama, and he says, does God hate you? She says, no. He said, well, why do you have to take these insulin shots for diabetes? I'm just paraphrasing to get the book. But he says that I prayed to God to make it where you don't have to get any shots anymore. If that happened, you could eat candy like me and Bobby to save you. said, I don't want you getting shots. He said, God doesn't care. He said, he said he hates God. He says, God is mean, I hate him. But God is he's an imaginary being. So, in this book right here, the books of gods, they use their imagination. Like here, now we are going to learn more about one of the most important human creations of all time, God's. It's imagination. Imagination. This is what you people believe in. Adults. Scary, the unknown. You're afraid to die. You're afraid what's going to happen to you. You're living in fear. You're living in fear. What comes after death? The fact is that we do not know what happens after we die. No one does. There could be nothing. There could be nothing, or there could be everything. Not knowing is what makes us scared, and what makes us speculate about what happens after death. To speculate, to think about something and make a guess about it. We don't know what happens we don't know what happens when we die. But that hasn't stopped people from imagining and guessing. In fact, humans have come up with a bunch of different answers. You question life. You niggas need to read this book. This is like third, fourth grade book. What age range is this book? It's like kiddie book. It's like for kids. But you niggas, you grown adults need to read this. What are gods and why do people believe in them? Where did they come from and what did they do? This book answers all those questions and more. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you want to learn more about gods from around the globe, including where they come from, and how belief in them has spread over time, this is an easy book for you to read. You need to read this. The fully illustrated interactive book of gods is for readers and thinkers of all age, including kids and kids at heart. You niggas, you need to read this book. These are all imaginary beings. No matter what religion they're a part of, that goes across the globe, the world, they're all imaginary. Why do I need to get a Ouija board to manifest these so-called demons? If they're so powerful, how come they just can't manifest themselves right now? Why they gotta wait till a certain time, a certain night of the hour to make themselves known? That's because you niggas are looking for something to believe in so bad. It's a goddamn belief. And I'm tearing that shit down. I'm tearing it down. I'll be back. I'm coming back for your ass for another video. But how you gonna deny this information? How you gonna deny this? All these guys, all of them are imaginary. Doesn't matter if you go to Africa. If you go to Antarctica, you go to Europe, you go to South America, you go to, it doesn't matter, North America. You can have the spaghetti god or the hamburger god. It's all imaginary, man. Your brain makes that shit happen. It's facts. You niggas are living in fear. So, look, one more thing. Look at the word cult. That's what you niggas are in, cults. cults. What is cults? A cult, in the study of cults, one always asks why. Most cults are filled with members who are educated, have a job, and appear to be level-headed. Why would these people, who appear to have it all together, want to join a cult? The answer is simple. These people want to belong. They want to belong to something. They want to be a part of a group. The cults, there's many different cults. Cults are nothing but gangs. And every gang has a leader. Damn shame. Like, take for example, a lot of you all are subscribed to this guy right here. I'm not trying to expose him, but a lot of y'all are subscribed to this guy right here. G-Dash the Prophet. If you click on his videos, the majority of his videos are breaking down movies. And he uses a couple Bible passages here and there, lessons, right? And you clicked on his videos. In the past, everything that he was doing was for free. But now this nigga is charging you niggas money. Look, like right here. Mystery Babylon exposed DVDs ready for purchase. You niggas are buying this shit to break down movies when you can do this shit on your own? This nigga admitted to you all, he said, I got a full-time job, but he said that I need extra money to buy better equipment to give you all better picture quality and sound quality. Get the fuck out of here. I'm using this old-ass tablet, and I have to keep my charger plugged up to it, or else it'll die out. But I've been doing videos in this damn thing for about a year now, and I ain't asking no damn money. I don't got no GoFundMe page set up. You niggas are dumb. You niggas don't think at all. You deserve to let these people come on pimping your asses. Don't think I'm lying. He admits it. He tells you out of his own mouth. Let's click on this. He says DVDs ready for purchase. How much he selling this shit for?
Exclusive. Get your copy, Mystery Babylon Breakdown. Exclusive. G-Dash the Prophet. Exclusive. Get your copy, Mystery Babylon Breakdown like no other. You can get part 1, part 2, and part 3.
Oh my.
This is an exclusive G-Dash the Prophet Mystery Babylon Breakdown, including 35 movies. To confirm. You will not get nothing like this again. If you would like to purchase, please hit the link in the description of this video. Hit the link in the description and order right now.
It's a scheme, man. It's a scam.
Babylon Breakdown by G-Dash the Prophet.
It's a scam. You niggas is buying this shit? It's a scam. Don't take my word for it. What was the last video he put up? He said he need y'all money. And you niggas is buying this shit. Looking for any and every goddamn thing to believe in. When it's not going to make your living condition any better. You still got to get your ass up in the morning and go to work and be a provider for your family. This nigga is charging you all money to break down movies. And you niggas gonna buy this shit. I know you are. Let's look at the comments. I'm quite sure you niggas done start buying this shit already. Let's look at the comments. Oh my God, I'm getting mine tomorrow. I donate anyway, but this is about a bonus. You niggas are buying this shit? You some goddamn fools. Damn shame, man. Ain't no goddamn sense. You gotta be ashamed of your fucking selves. But hey, hey, people that state, hey, guess what? They pimp y'all asses. They're using the Bible as a hustle. It's a hustle. It's a hustle, man. It's a scam. They scamming your ass. They hustle man. You got hustle man and hustle woman. It ain't shit divinely about that damn Bible. It's a damn book written by a fucking man. But hey, go ahead, keep on believing in this dumb shit. Shit dumb. It's a hustle, and they scam y'all asses. That's facts. I'm trying to wake you niggas up. It's all a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. This dude went from not charging you all money to break down movies and all that type of stuff. Then he went to breaking movies down. Let's see how much this nigga charging you all for these DVDs. So he had at one point that the shit was $2.99 to break the movies down. So let's click on this shit and see how much he's charging you niggas to buy this shit. So you got a Cash Me app on this shit or whatever. So you got Mystery Babylon DVDs exposed, $20 for each, but $50 for all 3 copies. Now how the hell this nigga go from $2.99 per movie breakdown? Now this nigga is charging you niggas $50? And you niggas gonna buy this shit? That's not gonna make your living condition any better. You're gonna wake up the same day, same conditions, nothing changed. You think some guy gonna come out the sky and solve your problems? You a goddamn fool. You a fool. You ignorant. You ignorant. So go ahead. You gonna give this nigga $50 for some fucking movie breakdowns? That's some shit that's not even real? Get the fuck out of here. You niggas retarded, man. You niggas are dumb. You niggas don't think. You don't think. You don't use your brain. You got shit for brains. All these books are written by goddamn men. People that you believe in that they not even exist. Alright, I'll be back with your ass in the next video. Peace.